Hello. All right. So today, Sheree and I are going to be having a conversation about how our parents conditioned us. And for those of you that don't know that term, conditioned us, let's just say screwed us up. No, we shouldn't say that, but they didn't know any better, right? I'm screwing my kid up too. It's just what happens. But we now know through human design why that happens. So it's awesome. So that's what we're going to talk about, how we got conditioned by our parents, how I'm conditioning my child. So that's going to be our conversation today. So thanks for being here. Stay tuned. Cherie.
Hello, everyone. So I'll start. When I first learned human design, I, for like the first 6 months, did my chart over and over again because thought I was a manifesting generator because both my parents were manifesting generators. So I was conditioned, meaning I was taught to override my own natural instinct. That's what conditioning is, to be like them. So manifesting generators have a lot of energy and they're meant to do multiple things at a time. Yeah, like lovely Amanda over there. And I am a manifester, so I need a lot more downtime. I need my space from people. And manifesting generators don't need that as much. So it was very confusing for me. Um,
Mhm.
because I was so against my own natural state of being. How is it for you, Amanda?
Well, my mother is a manifesting generator, and I'm a manifesting generator. So it worked, that part of it worked pretty well for the both of us.
Mhm.
I mean, well, for me, because it's just how her energy is. Her
Yeah.
energy is a bit more intense just for other reasons in the chart. But the big difference is for me and my son. So I have a teenager who is a projector. And so that is a big difference of manifesting generator and projector. And when I learned that about him, oh my gosh, it made so much sense. And the awareness that our energy is completely different. If you watched our last video, we talked about the differences of the different types. And now I have that awareness, and my mother as well. We have that awareness that he's different than us. He needs a way more rest, kind of like how Cherie does, because of when you're a manifester or a projector or a reflector, you have an open sacral. And yes, you can, in short term, you can work really, really hard and fast, but you really then need a lot of rest time. So, um, having that awareness has made me such a better mother. It is amazing. I'm very, very grateful that, and that he knows this about himself at such a young age. He knows when he goes on vacation with his dad or myself, like for several days, that day that he comes home, he needs an entire day of rest.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
right, and some of us are like, too bad, like we got work to do, like get stuff done. But I know this about him. He knows this about himself. It's just gonna be he hopefully won't hit burnout in his 30s like a lot of projectors do. So
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah. So projectors usually hit burnout about 30 to 40, manifestors around 50. Um, and then the sacral types can go until about 70, which is the normal retirement age. Yeah, for me, learning that my parents were manifesting generators was really just eye-opening and helped me to really explain why and how I wasn't listening and honoring my own need to rest, but also the need, like every other type other than manifestors are meant to respond. And so it was constantly like, asking questions and things like that, which actually drain us. It drains projectors and manifestors and reflectors when you ask us questions. So that part was huge. And just understanding how my own energy works and not only needing the space to rest, but also needing that time away from people because our auras are different. So like the
Yeah.
generators and manifesting generators, your aura um, goes out and just kind of hugs us. And so we need that space, and you need that space from my aura, which is constantly pushing on you. So I'm wondering, Amanda, do you notice that with your son that he needs space from other people in general?
Oh,
His
definitely.
aura goes right in and
Yes. Projectors have very penetrating aura. And
Mhm.
yeah, when he's had enough of peopling, he definitely needs that. And that's the other thing about the day of rest, especially, you go on vacation and it's out of your regular routine and you're around different people and different things and busy. And so knowing that he needs that space. But even after school, just needing to like lay down and decompress and it's a lot of big energies out there. And even for me, he needs space for me too, because
Mhm.
I'm can be a lot. And his dad and grandma as well. So I was just going to go back to the questions of um, that manifestors. I have several manifestors in my life and several projectors in my life, and manifestors, projectors, and reflectors need open-ended questions.
Mhm.
And generally in life, we ask yes, no questions because manifesting generators and generators, we need yes, no
Wait.
questions.
Yeah.
And so we're so used to just asking, okay, do you want to go next? Do you want pizza for dinner? Do you want to call your mother right now? We're
Yeah.
just so used to that in society. And that I see that in my friends and family that are the open sacral types that really does deplete you. And it's
Mhm.
really, I mean, that has been, I've been doing human design now for 6 years, but it's still, I have to catch myself.
Mhm.
Sheree, I'm wondering if it would be okay if we meet at 6 o'clock and
It's
not, do you want to meet at 6 o'clock?
yeah.
Because then you can feel into your answer and not
Mhm.
just be in response. So I'm
Yeah,
so glad you know that.
it's really interesting because I've noticed, like, when I am speaking to a generator, manifesting generator, and just knowing people's types, I think is so valuable because you will know how to communicate with them better. You'll understand what they need and how each one of us has a different way of doing things. Like generators, they need to do things one thing at a time. So, if I'm asking my husband, who's a generator, a question, I'm going to ask him one question at a time. But that is really interesting how we communicate incredibly differently. Yeah. And I have to think about it when I'm talking to generators and manifesting generators, like ask
Right,
questions instead of
right,
my natural way of speaking, which is open-ended. Yeah.
right. And for our parents, how, right? How I'm sure your parents talk to you in yes, no questions and all
Yeah.
that
Or told me what to
responding
do.
or told you what to do, which you don't want to tell a manifestor what to do.
Yeah. Go
P.S.
do this.
Don't
Go
tell a
do this.
manifestor what to do. They don't like it
People get angry. And then you
and
wonder
they
why.
get angry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's really interesting, like, and definitely for me, having two parents that were the same type, being manifesting generators, it was really interesting just knowing that. And it was a big aha, like, oh, now I understand why I felt so much pressure, especially because I have an open root, but so much pressure to do things and to constantly be doing. And then I literally slept 12 hours almost every night when I was a teenager because I was so exhausted
right.
from just school, my parents, all this energy around me. And I have two siblings that I grew up with, and one was a projector and one was a generator. So it's also interesting to see how they too were conditioned by having parents that were manifesting generators.
Right.
So, Amanda, I know we've talked a little bit about your mother with having a defined head and how that was for you. It is for you. Do you want to share a little bit on that?
The Jedi mind trick. So if you have the here, I'll bring a visual aid out here. If you have this from one of these channels, from the head to the ajna, one of those, that um, our teacher, Sheree and I, Karen Curry Parker, she calls it the Jedi mind trick. And
Mhm.
when you have that, you really can put thoughts into other people's heads, which I know sounds crazy, but it works. So my mother has it and my son has it as well, and I do not. And I can feel it when they are wanting me to think something or do something, or if they're confused about something, how it messes with me.
Mhm.
It's wild. And I now know. And I'm learning to know when they're doing it. I'm like, stop it, knock it off.
Knock it off.
So that's really, really interesting. Do you have any experience with that?
Whenever I'm around somebody with a defined head, which by the way is pretty rare, not a lot of people do. Most people have it undefined. And undefined is just it's white space. So if you look at your chart, it's the white space in the chart is the undefined. And Amanda, do you want to show them quick what that
Hmm.
little, just so they can get the visual. So
That's
any place that's
open.
white is
Hmm.
undefined, and we literally take in other people's energy and amplify it. So like she's when she's around her mother and her child, who have a defined head, she's going to be bringing in thoughts of theirs and amplifying it. So when I'm around people with the defined head, I usually get confused. Like I feel foggy. I feel very foggy. And for myself, going back to our parents, my G center, which is my identity, is completely open. I have zero gates in
Hmm.
my G center, which is in the center of our body. And Amanda will
This
show
one
you
right here,
that
the
one.
triangle.
Yes. And so when I'm around other people, I feel their identity. And sometimes I can take that in. And as a kid, I didn't know. And I didn't know that I was doing that. And when I'm around certain people, not only do I feel their identity, but as a child, I was taking it in and acting like it was me. So I spent a lot of time with my mother more than my father, and I really took on a lot of her identity and a lot of who she was. So it's
Hmm.
really interesting. That's another way we're definitely conditioned or we override our own natural way
Right.
with our open centers. So like
Yes.
also for me, I have the an open or undefined spleen, which is where our fears are. And even just the other day,
And that's this one.
that one down there, that's where our fears are kept. And so just the other day, I realized that a fear that I had was not mine. It was from my mother
Wow.
growing up. And it was just, she had that fear. So I took it in and I amplified it. So I thought it was mine. And just the other day, I was like, oh, no wonder I have that fear. She has that fear. I don't have that fear. And then I had to sit with it. Am I really afraid of this? No. So it's really interesting how they
And
can
it
condition
can
us.
go the other way too, where
Hmm.
the will center, so this is the will, that small little triangle. So my mother has the will open. And what shows up in the will center when you have it open or undefined is feeling unworthy, feeling unlovable, needing to prove yourself. I have a defined will. which only 30% of the population does. Sheree does as well, so it's kind of funny. But so we both have that. But my mother has it open. So I was conditioned in her whole life, right? She needs to prove herself. And she's always
Mhm.
working harder and proving and saying, like how she's important. And then I have that defined, but I've been programmed and conditioned to need to prove myself as well. And
Mhm.
now I'm like, oh, I don't need to prove myself. I have a defined will. That's not part of the plan when you have a defined will. So I got conditioned that way off of my true center of having a defined will and knowing who I am and being proud of myself. And I don't really need anyone else to be proud of me. So I don't need to prove myself. So it can
Right.
go either way if it's defined or undefined, because there's
Yeah.
high expression and low expression in every gate and in every center.
Mhm.
So we can express either way. So this is why we love knowing your human design. And Sheree and I both do human design readings.
Mhm.
Do not use Chat GPT to get your chart because it
No.
screws it up. It's horrible and awful and wrong, and you won't know that it's wrong unless you have a reader. We are both um, certified readers. We have gone through years of experience. We have knowledge on this. So uh, I am
And
at
you
Red
know
Dragon.
how, yeah,
I'll
sorry.
just say I'm at Red Dragonfly Healing. Sure, you want to say
My
yours?
website, ShereeAllard.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and we have you can run your human design chart on both of our websites, and we love human design so much. It's so
Mhm.
fun, it's so nuanced, there's so many levels and layers to it. It just takes years and years and years, and there's people that have been doing human design for 30 years that are still learning new stuff. So not to say that we know everything, that's for sure, but we do have lots of knowledge. We're officially trained, um, and love to share our knowledge and looking at your chart and telling you about you, who you are, not who your parents wanted you to be, not who your teachers or your whatever friends, aunts, uncles, siblings,
Society.
society. We want you to be you.
Yeah, listening to yourself. And we've been taught so much to override who we naturally are. And that's when we get confused. That's when we're like, oh, I don't understand. My head's saying one thing, but my heart's saying another. Which do I listen to? And like Amanda said, we both do readings. I also have a membership, and we have different things that we do, many different things that both of us do. Yeah, Chat GPT will not help you when it comes to human design, simply because we're all very different. And there might be one part of your chart that is being affected by another part. And I was looking up a celebrity the other day, and it said on Chat GPT that they were a projector. Projectors weren't even like a type they could have been in at any point during that day. So, so Chat GPT does not know.
No,
But please come and subscribe to our channel so you'll get any of these videos. We're going to do a series on this. We love talking about human design. And also look up your parents' chart. If you have their birth time, if you don't, kind of play with the time and see if it changes throughout the day. But then
yeah,
that'll
I
give
did
you an
that.
idea. Yeah.
So I did that with my grandmother because she was born in
Yes.
1921. No one cared about the time, right?
Right.
And so if you run their chart at like 12:01 a.m. and then 11:59 p.m., you can run the chart and see if they stay the same type the whole day. So my grandmother was a projector the whole day. And so I know she's a projector at least. I mean, she's passed away now, but at least I know that. And that gave me so much clarity. She had 6 kids. She did not really want any of them and made them all go to bed at 7 p.m. Oh, she was burnt out as a projector. That makes sense now. So
Yeah.
it's so great. So thank you for being here, and we are happy to. We'll chat some more. Yep, we have a plan to do some more videos. So follow along, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, everyone. Have a great time.